You're watching another TBC 24/7 live broadcast on We Are Giving Away Cryptocurrency to You. Come along and get yours. My name is Paul, and today's date is August 12th, 2018, and this is episode 119. Okay, the cryptocurrency I'm talking about is called TBC for short, the Billion Coin. Okay, it's an acronym for the Billion Coin. Came out 2 years ago, on March 21st, 2016. And it did not get put on the coin market cap. So those of you who may be watching and are familiar with cryptocurrency and familiar with Bitcoin and some of the other coins, you'll notice that all of them are on the coin market cap. It's a market, so anybody who wants can come in, and if they've got the money, they can purchase any coin they want and as many of those coins as they want and hoard them for themselves. Now, why would they do that? Well, the central banking system in the Western world has been in control of the monetary system for decades, even centuries, on and off, mostly on. They came back and took control of America's money system again in 1913. And they haven't been able to, we haven't been able to get rid of them because they are so powerful now that they've been in control of America's monetary system since, well, for 805 years now. Okay, their currency is just that, currency. It's no longer money. When they took over our monetary system in 1913 under Woodrow Wilson, the dollar was worth a dollar. Its value has gone down somewhere between as little as half of a penny to a couple of pennies. And the reason is because they slowly took the gold away from the monetary system. And the more they did that, the more the currency became fiat, which is simply a currency that's backed by nothing of value. And in 1971, under Nixon, here in America, it took us off the American gold standard, which means that at that point, there was absolutely nothing of value backing their currency. It was no longer money. But the only reason it has stuck around is because the people haven't had anything else to use. So they're forced to have faith in this currency that continues to devalue, with goods and services continuing to inflate. And obviously, since 1971, the currency has been 100% debt. And they just keep making as much as they want with nothing to value it. So obviously that can't last. It's been going on 50 years, and I'm surprised it's lasted this long. Now, we've seen crashes in their market system. Wall Street was created by the central banking system. The stock market is their system. Any market is their system because they can control it. They can manipulate the prices. We've seen that crash in 2000. We saw it again in 2008 with the real estate bubble that crashed or burst. And we keep seeing these things happen where people lose their retirement that they have worked their entire lives for. I've personally seen it with personal friends of mine and their parents. They've got their retirement funds in IRAs, 401ks, and these things are all based on the stock market. So what are we to do? Well, those of you who are still watching are probably a little bit familiar with cryptocurrency. Therefore, you're a little bit familiar with blockchain technology, which is what was used to create the first cryptocurrency called the billion coin, called Bitcoin. An individual who calls himself Satoshi Nakamoto is the individual that invented the blockchain technology using cryptography. And it's an extremely secure and private system. Private in one way and yet completely transparent in another way. Okay, and you can easily find out about the main aspects of what blockchain technology is by simply looking it up online, doing a search. Wikipedia, you can even get a very good basic understanding of blockchain technology. He used that technology to create the cryptocurrency that he wanted to do, because after 2008 and what he saw, he said, this is crazy, basically, to himself, and I've got to do something about it. At least that's the rumor that goes back to the forums that came out in 2010, where people started who knew about that kind of technology, understood what it was and got involved, whereas the masses, we didn't understand it. And so we basically go on about our lives and wait until the televisions and the news sources tell us, well, here's something new, guys, use it. Okay? Kind of like what happened when the internet came out. The only people that got involved in it were people that understood the technology already. And the masses didn't start coming in until about 5 years later, in the mid-90s, when we realized, well, I got involved. I was already involved. I think I got online at least by 92, if not 91. Okay? Because I realized it had some capabilities that I could use to easily educate myself without having to go to the library. That was my first motivation to get online. And of course, it was very, very raw back in those days. There wasn't much you could do with it, but you saw what happened. Okay, the internet didn't go away, and just improved all the time, every year, every 2 years. Because that's what technology does. It usually doubles every 18 months. And so by the end of the 90s and the beginning of the 2000s, then it just went nuts talking about the internet. Okay. The search engines came, Google came, chatting, messaging services, social media. And here we are in 2018. And now we've got blockchain technology, which was invented in 2009. It's been 9 years. And it is a different animal than the internet. People are not used to money that is created through the internet. And I don't know why. I don't know why even I went that way. I heard about it in 2011, and I just thought it was a scam. And I'm really ashamed of myself that that's what I thought, because I should have known better. Digital money is all we've been using since the internet came along. When we use our Visa card and our MasterCard, it's digital money. Okay? Bank to bank, wire transfers, you name it. It's all digital. Very few of us use cash. It doesn't make any sense unless we're just locally using cash. But when we got to do something online or send money to a family members in another country or another state, it's all digital. But yet, we basically have had a hard time accepting cryptocurrency, a digital asset and money that cannot be manipulated by anyone. It cannot be stolen. No one can make it disappear if they feel like it. No one can shut their doors and shut their systems down and say there's no more. And yet, the vast majority of us didn't know what to do with it. But 9 years later, actually about 7, the last 2 years, people have been coming in droves, okay? I got involved at that time. Actually, it was the end of 2016. So it hasn't even been 2 years since I finally purchased some Satoshi coins, which is a division of Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin by that time was too expensive for me to purchase full coins. So I started out with divisions of coins. And being digital, they can divide one coin by 100 million. So anyone can own any of these coins. Okay? You can spend $1 and own some kind of a coin. Now, what makes our coin, the billion coin, TBC, different than all the others is we are the only and the first coin, should say first and only so far, that has not been put on the trading market for a reason. The creators of our coin had a mission behind the creation of their coin. They weren't out to make money. If you want to create a cryptocurrency, a token, and make money with it, then you go ahead and you create an ICO, initial coin offering. You go to the Security and Exchange Commission, you do all the paperwork, you have investors come in and invest their money, because once it goes on the market, almost always it at least doubles the price. Then the owners make money, the investors make money, and then it's no longer a security. It's on the market, it's money. This is how the system works. But once a coin does that, like I said, there's absolutely no control over who owns it or who can buy it or who can manipulate the price. And when you've got a central banking system that's had control of, just use America, for example, but obviously most of the world. The US dollar Federal Reserve note is being used in most of the world. Just recently, the countries are starting to rebel, and you see that. They're taking their own money system and they're backing it with their own gold again. And they don't want to use the US dollar, the Federal Reserve dollar, the private banking dollar, because it's worthless. And they know it has to disappear. It has to come down. It's just a matter of time. And like I said, I don't know how it's lasted this long. So when that happens, obviously, all the countries will have to have their money backed by gold. So they'll have to have their own gold in their own countries. So they're repatriating their gold. See countries doing that all over the world. Okay. Here in America, that's exactly what will happen. The only difference is the president we have right now, Donald Trump, is not a paid puppet of the central bankers. Okay. We haven't had a president that has not been owned by them since Ronald Reagan. And before that, we didn't have one since John F. Kennedy. And before that, we haven't had one since William Taft, the president who was running for a second term in 1912 and was a shoo-in because Woodrow Wilson was a nobody. But Teddy Roosevelt, the president before William Taft, was approached by the central bankers and said, hey, go ahead and run against these two on a different party. We'll take care of you and draw those votes away from Taft because he will not let us come back and sign and put into law the Federal Reserve Act so we can take over the monetary system of the United States. And Teddy said, oh, sure. So that's exactly what happened. It worked. Woodrow Wilson won. 3 days later, he signed that Federal Reserve Act, which put all of our money into the hands of a private banking system, which turned around and lent that money, their money, not ours anymore, to the government with interest attached. And our government turned around and charged us income tax in order to pay off that interest. And even though this has happened before in American history, Andrew Jackson was the last one to get rid of it. It's back, and it's been back solid for 105 years. The only person to really make a dent in getting rid of it, and the timing was right, was John F. Kennedy. And not only was he getting rid of the central banking system and hanging on to the silver and wanted to create the United States' own money again, but he wanted nothing to do with the Vietnam War. He wanted peace in the world. And of course, the war machine is owned by the central bankers. They couldn't, that's what they want to do, is have war. That's how they make money. And so we know what happened to John F. Kennedy. And John F. Kennedy, believe it or not, was not even supposed to be president. Richard Nixon was supposed to be president. Okay, he was the shoo-in. Like Hillary was supposed to be the shoo-in against Trump. Nobody thought Trump would win. Well, nobody thought this John F. Kennedy, who was he, was going to win. But he did. And Richard Nixon went a little bit cuckoo because he was so expecting. Well, you saw what happened with Hillary. Okay? But Nixon got his chance again, right? In 1968. And he was again a shoo-in. But then John F. Kennedy's brother, Robert, decided he was going to run to try to win the Democratic Party's candidate to run for president against Nixon. And Nixon wasn't going to lose to another Kennedy again. So we know what happened to Robert. Nixon became president, took us off the gold standard, did a lot of other horrible things, and then he was out of the picture. And then the next president to come along that wasn't bought and paid for was Ronald Reagan, and we saw all the tremendous amount of good that man did when he was president. But the timing wasn't right to get rid of the central banking system. Okay, now Trump and technology is absolutely perfect. And we have had a plan. When I say we, I'm talking about the patriots of this country and even the patriots all over the world, no matter what country they're in, are fed up with being oppressed and basically being enslaved by this debt-based monetary, well, it's not monetary, but debt-based economic system of fiat currency that's worthless and can crash and destroy everything we've worked for our whole lives. Just like that. So the invention of the blockchain technology is something that everyone in the world needs to take a look at. The sooner the better. It can do so many things besides creating money. And the money is real. So with our coin having a mission to eliminate global poverty, we had to keep it off the market. Okay, common sense, logic. And we also had to keep a certain amount of centralization, meaning control over our coin in order to distribute it fairly evenly among the people of the earth. And the way we set up our algorithm was we are going to bring in to our private community 1 billion people. Now we can bring in more, and we obviously will, but the algorithm and the way we value our coin is based on 1 billion, the first billion. Okay, there's 7.6 billion people in the world, by the way. And by the way, there's only 2,200 billionaires. That's the problem with the world. Okay. We are first creating 1 million billionaires. Not 2,200. 1 million billionaires. And then we're going to create 1 billion millionaires, and they will be multimillionaires and they will be multi-billionaires. Now, we would like you to be a part of this group of 1 billion, our first billion. The way our system works is it's valued by people, by you and I having it in our hands, not the creators, which we call admin. And we've narrowed it down to one person, calls himself Kris Kringle, because he gives the gift away. So a division of our coin are called Kringle coins. Like a division of Bitcoin is called Satoshi. Okay, so since we now have, after 2 years, the most expensive cryptocurrency in the world, then does that mean that none of us can get a coin because it's too expensive? No, it's not set up the way the other coins are. In Bitcoin, basically, you can kind of say, I've missed the boat because I can't afford 8,000 or whatever the price of Bitcoin is right now for a coin. So I'm just going to have to buy a small amount of Satoshi. And I kind of lost out on what that full coin may someday be worth because they're only making 21 million Bitcoins. We are making 1 billion. That's why we call it the billion coin. And that's not really why we call it a billion coin. It's because we are bringing in 1 billion people to create our worldwide and complete economic system that will eliminate all poverty in the world. It will eliminate all these developing countries because at that point, we will be able to develop them and so that they look like America, Canada, Australia, Britain, New Zealand, right? Because they're looking at us with their phones, no matter how undeveloped and poor these people are. In countries in Africa, East Asia, Southern Asia, Haiti, oh my gosh. They look at their phones and they go, what is wrong with this picture? My country doesn't look like, I wake up, I don't see myself. Okay, I've talked about this a lot. And those of you who have been watching my videos are probably tired of me talking about it. But this is the passion that makes me get on YouTube and do these live broadcasts, is the fact that for the first time in my life, 61 years, there's an absolute solution to really eliminating global poverty. I've heard that for decades. Oh, we're going to get rid of poverty. And we are, give us money. We're a charity. We're going to go into this country. We're going to do that and that. And these things are all fine and dandy. Okay. But they're just temporary fixes. It's like when we hand somebody who's down their luck, whatever we can in our pocket, and hand him something so he can go get some drink or a drug or some food. Okay. It's not a solution. He's still going to be on the streets tomorrow, or she. Okay. For multiple reasons. The point is, it's not a solution. If there was abundance in the world, which there is, but if the abundance was in the hands of the people again, or really for the first time in the history of mankind, everybody had money, then there's nothing we couldn't do. Okay? So this is where we need to start realizing that at this time in history, that's where we're at. And if you're alive, then you're going to experience this one way or another. We want you to actually be a part of our economy in that first billion people. If you're like-minded, if you're not, fine. Okay? If you need money, okay, if you don't have a good enough system in 2 or 3 years when we hit our billion, then fine. We will get you, we will make you abundant. Okay? We'll either give it to you or we'll hire you. Okay? I mostly think about people my own age. But I also realize that there's all these kids growing up and all these younger generations. Okay? And I see what's going on in the world. And it's been depressing most of my life not being able to do anything about it because of the monetary system that we've been forced to have and live under since 1913 and not be able to do anything about it. What are we going to leave our kids, people my age? What are we going to leave our kids or our grandkids or anybody? Fiat currency, some AT&T stock. Most of us, it doesn't matter what stock it is. It's on a system that is worthless. Okay? When the stock market goes away, which it will because the central banking system is going away, it has to. When it crashes, if they hang on to the narrative, they'll just say, hey, people, it crashed and we got to put gold back on our money. So give us some time. We'll get it done. In the meantime, who knows what kind of a transition that we're going to have to go through. Super inflation right before it crashes. I can guarantee you that much. A loaf of bread will go from $5 up to $15, maybe even more ridiculous. What are you going to do? Go without bread? What are you going to do if toilet paper goes up to $30 for a pack of toilet paper and you don't have $30? What if the banks are on holiday? What if they're saying, hey, we'll let you go to the ATM machines once a week and pull out 200 or 300, but that's all because, we got to put the money back on gold and we got to do all these things and we just don't have, we can't give you your money. Doesn't matter if you got $1 million in the bank. You can't access it if they tell you no because it's not your money. It's theirs. They have the right to say no. Okay, they did it in Greece recently. And there's many other examples of how they use it in the form of racketeering to countries all over the world. And they're tired of it. They throw sanctions on countries that don't want to participate or go along with their agenda and tell them no. And they just say, well, you're still using the Federal Reserve note, so we're going to sanction whatever you are using to make money in your country, and we're going to destroy your country. That's what they did with Venezuela. I always bring it up because Venezuela is an unbelievable example of what has happened and what's going to happen. Venezuela has all these sanctions on their main resource, which is oil. They can't sell their oil. So the people starve to death. Bankers don't care. Okay. So what did they do? They created their own cryptocurrency. Never been able to do that before until now. They created their own cryptocurrency. They called it the petrocoin because they were going to base it on their value, their resource, which is oil, but then realized, well, wait a second, we can't sell our oil. So are the people really going to have faith in this coin? And they said, well, let's just put it on gold. We have our gold back in our country. Why not just back it by our gold? Okay. Well, when the people found that out, they started using that coin. Okay. And not only that, but every single country in the world had their eyes on Venezuela to see if this was going to succeed. And when they did succeed, because now they're selling their oil to other countries and they're using cryptocurrency, they're going around those sanctions. They're flipping off the central bankers. And now other countries are going to do the same thing. Not only that, but there's other countries that have already started to back their money by gold. The Russian ruble is backed by gold. Chinese yuan is being backed by gold. And you've got this happening all over the world. You've got the European Union, which is breaking up right now. This globalization that we've been told for decades now, we're going to have one world order, one country, one money. Everybody's going to be equal. It's not working because socialism never has. Communism never has. Okay, so in spite of what's going on in the world and what countries do, even when Trump and the Patriots win the narrative and we destroy the current worthless economic system that we're on, it has to be crashed. One way or another, it's going to implode on its own, or we're going to bring it down because we got to get rid of it. And then we have a backup plan to put in a new cash system backed by gold, because that's the only thing that will work. Common sense and logic. So if Trump wins the narrative and audits for the first time ever the Federal Reserve private bank and shows the world what they've been doing for decades, that's the end of them. So they are in a panic. They hate cryptocurrency. They can't control cryptocurrency. All they can do is make a coin, which basically what Ripple is. Ripple is not even on a blockchain. It's an open source coin, but it's not on a blockchain. And it's basically going to be worthless, okay, because they can just make as much as they want. It's just pure digital money. It's not money. Ripple's really not money. You've got to have it on a blockchain for it to be real money. So be careful with Ripple. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't even listen to what I just said. Do your own research. The thing that Ripple has got an advantage point of right now is because they're not on the blockchain, they can do 1,500 transactions per second, which is about half of what Visa and MasterCard can do. Okay, and compare that to Bitcoin, which came out first and can still only do 7 transactions per second. Okay, Bitcoin can never be a massive monetary economy for the world because just of that alone, just the transaction speeds. When it got so slowed down last year, they created a fork and a new Bitcoin called Bitcoin Cash that can be transacted at 130 instead of 7, 130 per second. Greatly improved that system. But now we're running into other problems with Bitcoin, or they're running into other problems. And what we did, and most of the coins that came out, in the early 1300s, the early teens, I guess you'd say it, is that they were all on that original blockchain platform that Satoshi Nakamoto created. And then as technology improved over the years, they started creating their own blockchains that had faster and faster transaction speeds. But none of them have come close to 1,000 per second. And then all of a sudden we got this Ripple coin on an open source platform, it could do 1,500. And that's the only thing that they've got going for them. Use our coin is what they're telling you. Don't use these other cryptocurrencies. Look how fast we are. Okay, they don't want to lose control of their wealth. Cryptocurrency scares the pants off of them. Okay, plain and simple. They won't even let you use their Visa and MasterCards to purchase Bitcoin. A lot of these banks. Of course, they'll let you take your Visa and MasterCard to the casinos, gamble all the money you want away, lose all the money you want away. That's okay with them. They've got the power. It's their money. But don't use cryptocurrency is what they're going to tell you. You see it all over the place. Okay, so here we find ourselves, and now we've got a coin that starts out with a 5-year plan. It's still on a 5-year plan. We're 2.5 years into our coin. We're right on schedule. We have 3 million members because we started to give the coin away. And when people are getting free stuff, even free cryptocurrency, they're going to take it if they understand it. So we grew by 30 times after our first year. By the end of our first year, which was in March of last year, 2017, we had only 100,000 members. Okay. Then we grew 30 times to 3 million because we started, not we, but admin. Admin he can do whatever he wants with his coins. It doesn't affect the price of the coin. By the way, let me go over what values our coin. Besides the fact that I told you, you and I value it. Well, how do we value it, right? Well, we consider human beings worth more in their weight than gold. We consider human beings to be the most valuable things on this planet. And so when a person joins our private community, we add a value to our coin. They add a value to our coin. I added a value to the coin when I joined last year, like March 23rd. Okay, 2 days after their first year anniversary. I didn't even know it was their first year anniversary when I joined. I had just found out about it because I was doing research on Bitcoin again, and I saw a video pop up, suggested I read it, TBC, and I'm thinking, what is TBC? You know, I'm looking at the coin market cap, and I don't see TBC on there. The billion coin. I've never heard of that. What is this? And so I watched it, and the rest is history. The rest is history. Okay, because it all just hit me how I had been so wrong about everything. And these are individuals that are not out to make money. They're already self-made millionaires, this team of creators. And they're doing this to eliminate poverty, to change the world, to bring the world back to what it really is abundant. Okay, we've been raised in this scarcity mindset mode where they tell us there's not enough for you guys. There's not enough food, not enough water, not enough, fancy cars, fancy homes. There's not enough whatever, everything. When that's all lies. There's complete abundance of all of these things, and everybody can have it. But see, with our first billion people, we need like-minded individuals, people who are not selfish, obviously, people who are not greedy, people who have no problem with everyone being wealthy. Okay, so when a person joins, it raises the value of our coin by the value of 1 grain of gold. Okay, a grain is the smallest measurement of gold. It's worth about $2.53 right now. Okay, it fluctuates between $2.50, $2.60. So let's say it's $2.60 per grain of gold. It raises the value of each of our coins by $2.60 when one person joins up. If 100 people join today, it would raise the value of our coin by $260. If 1,000 people join today, it would raise our coin up, all of our coins, all billion of them, because we're never going to make another, and we're not going to make any more after a billion, and we're not going to have any less than a billion. And it would raise it up to $2,600 per coin. Okay, that's why we have a coin right now that's worth $8 million. But we don't have 1 million people with at least one coin, because what happened was, by just giving it away and not charging them anything, they didn't really put any value on it, especially when last year, when we had only 100,000 members, the gift was only worth around $20 or less. And then as the member, but people took it, right? It was free. Okay, I'll take it if it's free. But that started the growth, and people started telling everybody, hey, you want some free cryptocurrency? It's only $20 right now, but it's supposed to go up in value every day. Oh, really? I'll take it. But they didn't take it seriously enough to stay involved with the community. Okay. A lot of them were mostly used to Bitcoin and coin market cap. These are not communities. So they didn't think they had to do anything. They didn't understand the system and how it worked. That we don't have anything unless you have the coin in your hand. So obviously, when we hit our first billionth member, well, I shouldn't say obviously, because I haven't told you, but that's the way the algorithm works. It will raise the value of our coin by the value of 1 grain per person until we hit that billionth person. Then the algorithm shuts it off, and that's the maximum price it will ever be. Okay, so if the price of gold is worth the same as it is today in 2 to 3 years when we hit our billion, each one of those coins will be worth $2.6 billion. So if you had 1 coin in your hand, in your wallet, you'd be a multi-billionaire. Okay, even if you had less than a coin, if you had half of a coin, you'd be a billionaire. Okay, so this is what we're doing, and this is how it works. And we're still giving the gift away. Now, he's had to lower the amount of Kringle coins. He started out giving away 100,000 Kringles to every person who joined, just free. And then as it grew, that value was growing so much, he brought it down to 50,000. Okay, 50,000 Kringles as the gift. And then we grew and grew and grew, and he had to bring it down to 25,000. Okay, now that it's at 25,000 Kringles we're giving away, we're going to keep it that way all the way until we hit our billionth person. And we're only at 3 million. So how much is that worth today? It's worth $2,100. Okay? And we're having a special, because he always has specials. He always has promotions, because his whole purpose is to get that money out of his wallet and get it into the hands of the people, especially the first billion, right? Otherwise, our money is worthless. Our coin is worthless. It's valued on people having it in our hands. So we want to give it to you. Come in for free. We'll give it to you, but guess what? You won't actually be able to use it unless you purchase $10 for our back office, which you'll get free for at least 30 days. Okay, and so make sure you can afford $10, because it's just $10 a year. And it not only includes your back office, which I'll give you a little show of what you get with that, which connects you to our community and makes you a member of our community. We know each other. We talk to each other. We get blog posts from admin, the creator of our coin, every day. I mean, it's unbelievable. We're going on our first cruise on our 3rd-year anniversary. It's a Caribbean cruise. The admin's giving away all kinds of amazing cabins, and oh my gosh, just for having us do certain things that will help grow the community. That's what he does. He can take his coins and do anything he wants with it. It's not going to affect the value of the price of our coin. We, the people who have coins, who have purchased coins, who have earned coins, we cannot do that. We cannot sell it for one dime less than whatever the value is that particular day, according to our membership, because every single night, 12 a.m. Fiji time, it adds up the new members that came in and raises the value of the coin. And the next day it does it again. Next day it does it again. And you have to sell it every day if you're going to sell coins. If you've got enough where it's not going to hurt your bottom line, right? Then you can sell coins. And by selling coins at just really, really low prices, meaning not very many coins, okay? You won't get very many Kringle coins for $100, right? Because like, I think they're around $8 for a Satoshi right now. So you'd get like 12. That's 12 times 8. Okay, so you'd get like 12 Kringle coins. But for spending $100 on 12 Kringle coins, he will give you the value in Kringles. He would just add it onto you and throw it into your back office. It'll be under cookie rewards. He calls them cookie reward points, but they're equal to real Kringle coins that you redeem during a redemption month, which we have twice a year, in May and in June. I mean, in May and in November. So the next one's in November. And what happens is if you paid your $10, you'll get a little green button that says redeem will show up on November 1st. And all the cookie reward points that you collected between now and then, you'll be able to hit that button and it'll disappear in your back office and show up in your Kringle wallet, which is a different site. By the way, when you pay that $10, that $10 for a year for your back office, you get the wallet for free, which means there's never any transaction charges. You can transact 100 transactions a day, as many as you want, and never be charged anything for those transactions. Okay, you won't see that on any other cryptocurrency on the market. Well, not any other, because we're not on the market, but you won't see that with any other cryptocurrency, period. Okay, because we are still the only abundant-based coin. So let me think if there's anything else I need to touch on. Oh, I did want to show you what you get. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Okay, this is your back office that you get. As soon as you sign up, you'll get an email, okay? And you'll go in and you'll click on the confirmation link and it will take you inside. I don't even think it asks you to log in because it's got your information, but you may have to log in, okay? Okay, and this is what it looks like, okay? It's got information here, videos that you can watch. It's got the cookie reward system set up. You know, one is set up for people who do broadcasting like I do and people who don't want to. It's 1,000 times more. You get 1,000 times more if you'll just do one broadcast. And we'll show you how to do it. It's really easy. It's just right on YouTube with Google Hangout. It's a very, very simple process. Believe me, if I can do it, anybody can. Okay, and you'll get 1,000 times more. I mean, look at this. Broadcast. 1 million cookies. That's worth 1 million Kringles. Okay? If you do a broadcast, of course you're going to get 1 million. But if you don't, then you don't. But look at the purchases. You purchase $100 and you get 100,000 Kringles, which is worth about 80. Well, it's worth about 8,000. Okay, about $8,000. So $100 you can turn into 8,000. That's you'll not see that kind of leverage anywhere. I mean, even if you don't do that, even if you don't bother to even buy $100 worth, the $10 that you're going to pay basically to have access to that gift of 2,100. Where have you seen leverage like that, where you can turn $10 into 21? That's one way of looking at it. Okay, but you'll see it in your back office right away in the form of cookie points. But if you walk away, we don't lose any coins. Okay, if you pay $10 and we know you're serious, we know you're going to take it serious because you've actually reached into the pocket and given us something. Only $10, okay, which is affordable by every person on the earth. But look at the differences. If you purchase $100 after you do a broadcast, then instead of 100,000, you get 100 million, which is worth 1 full billion coin, worth $8 million today, and will be worth, if the price of gold stays the same today, $2.5 billion in 2 to 3 years. Okay, because it does not do admin any good to have all of these Kringles in his wallet and all of these full coins. He has to get them into the population's hands. So we're not used to thinking this. So at first we might think, well, this is too good to be true. But then if you use common sense and logic, you'll realize, well, wait a second, it's not too good to be true. Now I understand this has to happen. Otherwise, this will never be a real economy. Okay, 1 billion people is enough to supply the other 6.6 billion in complete abundance. And right now, we're having a special bonus, 500% more, till August of this month, 21st. This month till the 21st. So if you by chance come across this before the 21st, which gives you about what, 9 days? Okay, then instead of $2,100, you'll get 500% more. You'll get $10,500 as a free gift. Okay. So anyway, over here on the left side, you have all of your buttons that you can press on to find out all kinds of marvelous fun stuff. Okay, look at all the things that pop up. You can find out anything you want. Okay, without having spending a dime. Without having spending a dime yet, you can find out everything you want to know. Here's cookie rewards, right? Press that on, it's going to show you how many cookie rewards you've got. Okay, transaction verifications. These are having to do with how you purchase coins or sell coins and getting them verified from the admin, and he can look at the blockchain to see it and prove it, verify it, and then he gives you the coins. Gives you the free cookie rewards, which are turned into actual coins on a redemption month, which the next one is November. Okay, so I think that's all I want to talk about today. Let me look real fast and see if there's any questions. Okay, so hi, Serena Rose. Hi, Jack Dan. I hope I'm saying that right. Let me put my glasses on. Looks like Lasiba is here. If that's how you say it. Welcome, TBC Johnny. Good evening to you, or good morning. I really appreciate you guys coming out on this Sunday and supporting me. Okay. Thank you so much. And I hope you got something out of this that you can use some way. Those of you who are new and watching this, please go down below this video in the description and get your free gift first, okay? Just go ahead and get your free gift. And then you'll get that back office and learn everything you want to know. And what you'll find out is there'll be what we call a send button questionnaire. Okay, in order to you to activate your wallet with that $10, they're going to ask you 10 questions. They're going to give you 10 paragraphs, which is just our mission statement divided by 10. And you'll read the paragraph and you'll answer one of two answers. And if you get it wrong and it just tell you you got it wrong, go back and read the paragraph again and then answer it again. And what this does is it lets you know exactly what we are. And you're either going to say, I want to be a part of this, so here's my $10, or you're going to say, no, this is not for me. It just doesn't sound right. Now that I think about it, I really like showing off my Mercedes-Benz when I drive down the street, and everybody else has got, you know, Hyundais. And I really like my nice house, you know, my 3-car garage. And we're not looking for those people, okay? So those people will just walk away because they'll find out that that's not what we're about. We're about everybody being wealthy and having no problem with that. We are going to lift up the poor of this world and make them abundant. And there's more than 1 billion people out there that want that to happen. Okay, so we're not going to have any problem, no matter what, with getting to 1 billion people. And here's the thing: if you think that's going to take a long time and you're going to be dead before it happens, no, it's not. We're talking about 2 or 3 years. Okay. Yes, we're only at 3 million, but you saw that we grew from 100,000 to 3 million. What happens is when you start to grow and there's more people in your community, then you bring them in and they turn around and they bring their family in. They bring their friends in, and those people turn around and bring their family and bring their friends in, and it gets bigger and bigger. And what happens is the growth speeds up. It becomes very, very fast, okay, to where there's 10,000 coming in a day, then 50,000 coming in a day, then 100,000 coming in a day, then 500,000 coming in a day, then 1 million coming in a day, then 5 million coming in a day. You see how that happens? In days and weeks and months, bam. Okay, and before you know it, you know how fast time goes, especially when you're my age. 2 to 3 years is going to go by and we're going to have 1 billion people. And that ship that we have docked is going to be still docked there because the admin will always find ways to distribute the coin as evenly as he can to everyone in our first billion members. That's why we want you to come now and get a part and be a part of our first billion. Because otherwise, you're going to work for us, which is fine, right? Lots of people are willing to work. They love to work. It's just that we're going to be able to pay them a living wage where no government in the world could ever guarantee you. Okay? It's like I always say, if we own the McDonald's, we're not going to pay them $10 an hour. We're going to pay our employees $100 an hour. It's just common sense. There's going to be abundance. That changes the world greatly when you think about it. Okay? It's not going to make it paradise because we can't get rid of hate, but we can get rid of all crime due to lack. Nobody's going to kill you for your purse or your shoes or your car because they're going to have money. Okay, they're not going to kill you because they want to take your money so they can go get a fix. They're going to have money to go get their own fixes. But the thing is, we're going to have the ability to treat all these people, to give them help, to get rid of drugs, to change things for the better. Okay? Just start thinking about that and you'll realize, oh my gosh, you know, my whole life I've just been thinking from a scarcity mindset, and now I'm starting to think abundantly. I'm starting to think what it's like every day if everybody had money, what we can do. There wouldn't be any need for taxes because we'd be doing everything. We'd be paying out of our own pockets. There's going to be multi-billionaires, 1 million of them, not 2,000. It changes the whole dynamic right there. So come in, get involved. Look at the information below in the description of the video and check us out, because it only takes 10-15 minutes to figure out if this is for you or not. It'd be the best 10 or 15 minutes you took the time to take the time to check out. And then if you decide to go ahead and sign up, it takes another 5 minutes. And then you go through the information. That could take a half hour if you really want to know, what am I going to spend my $10 on? And then you'll either spend it or you won't. Okay? It's okay with us. We're not begging you. We're not demanding anything from you. We don't want your money. In fact, the admin won't even take fiat cash. You have to pay him that $10 in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin. If you don't have those coins, I do. Many of us do, so just contact us, and we'll help you do that. Okay, that's it. I'm usually here scheduled. I do broadcasts as much as I can. You don't have to. If you come in and want to do a broadcast just because you want to make more wealth for yourself and your family and leave something to your kids and grandkids, then you can do a broadcast. You can just do one and then make a purchase. And you'll get 1,000 times more cookie rewards, which are worth the same value in Kringles in a redemption month. So we'll show you how to do it. You can do 20 minutes, a half hour. Talk about the billion coin. Read off one of the blog posts. We'll show you how to do it. It's so easy. It's so simple. And if you don't want to, then that's fine too. But you'll notice under that chart that I showed you in the back office that if you go out and you bring in 100 of your friends and family, it won't matter if you do a broadcast or not. We'll give you 10, not we, but the admin will give you 10 full coins for bringing in 100 people and giving them $2,100 each. Okay? And of course, they got to stick with it and pay their $10 and get involved, because that's the whole point, right? We're in a distribution phase, and it's going to last until we get to 1 billion people. By the way, when we do hit our 1 billion people, the centralized wallets will be uncentralized. They'll be decentralized. There'll be no point in controlling the wallets anymore. We can then give the coin out without it affecting or discounting the value of the coin. You see? So check us out, and thanks for watching. And I hope you had a great weekend. I love you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.